Hey, what's up, everybody? TJ here from the Now Mind You podcast, coming at you with another review, this time of Tokyo Revengers Chapter 243. Now, where did we leave off? Chapter 242's last panel. We see Takemichi proclaims to the crew that it's time for their revenge, right? We are finally entering the final arc. Let's get into the summary for this chapter, where the scene opens up in Kanto Manji Kai HQ. Kokonoi informs Mikey that the second gen of Tokyo Manji Kai has sent a declaration of war. Mikey doesn't seem thrilled. In fact, he says, I knew you were back, right? We then see the main forces, like the executives, if you will, of Kanto Manji Kai. We see Haruchio, Kakucho, right? If you remember the Tenjiku arc, pretty much like the last major arc, right? The Haitani brothers, Mochizuki, who was like a spy for Tenjiku, right? Shion, Wakasa, Arashi, Hanma, right? Shion as in Benkei. The final battle then has a date that's set at September 9th at the old cargo bay. We then cut to the day of. We see Hina and Takemichi in his ceremonial garb on the balcony with Takemichi talking about how he's changed, how he's become more mature, how he used to be so cowardly. Meanwhile, his hands are trembling, and Hina basically calls him out, telling him to quit fronting and to say how he really feels. After which he shouts it out on the rooftop like, I'm scared, I don't want to die, etc. He grabs his four-leaf clover necklace, kind of exhales a little bit, and tells Hina that he will be back. We then cut to Toman mobilizing, all on their bikes, making their way to the old cargo bay. Then we see Kanto mobilizing as well. The last two panels, let's settle this once and for all, Sano Manjiro. The first panel of the last panels being a close-up of Takemichi's face, very serious, right? Last panel is him pulling away on his bike. Let's get into the review. Bro, I mean, what is going... Look at Kanto Manji Kai, right? They have all the heavy hitters from all the games just folded under Kanto. Like, that's not even fair, right? Brahman just disbanded, and all of a sudden Benkei and them are just already under the ranks of Kanto. Like, how did that happen, right? I would definitely like to see a chapter flashback that shows how they just all of a sudden on Kanto's side. Also, is this the same old cargo bay where the final battle against Tenjiku, which was like the battle between Mikey and his adopted older brother, right? Is it where that took place? Because like a lot of stuff went down. That was literally the if you will, like Kisaki's like last end. Because like right after that battle, that's when Kisaki bit that big one, if you will, right? What's the battle format? Are they going to shoot the fair one, or is this going to be all out like Bloody Halloween? If it's all out, there's no way. I mean, I talked about this last review, right? There's no way Toman doesn't come out of this unscathed, right? Like Toman is definitely going to take some losses if it's all out. Like it's almost like if you're playing like Overwatch or any melee type game, like if you have a team that's full of tanks. And if you guys remember when Overwatch first came out, before they like enforced all the balancing of teams, like you could have a team that was just full of tanks, right? Or like a team full of people that do like damage per second, like DPS. Like Mikey alone could probably handle Toman as is, but to have all these heavy hitters just does not seem fair. And if they shoot the fair one and it's like Mikey versus Takemichi, like how does this not end in tragedy? Right? I mean, when we had the timeline, the present timeline before Takemichi went back and he was unable to come back again, right? Kanto Manji Kai was at the point where they were using guns. Remember, like, Mikey shot up Takemichi before Takemichi went back in time. Like, Takemichi was pretty much gone, right? And then he woke up, he was a high schooler. So if Kanto is at that point where they're using firearms, like what is Toman going to do? That's not Toman's style. I mean, the only thing I have some type of reassurance in, and I had to double check if Tokyo Revengers was classified as a shonen manga, right? But the only confidence is the only confidence I have in is the fact that this is a shonen manga. So in theory, our protagonist should win, right? Now, there's no way this is going to be a clean one. Like I said, there will be some deaths. Like, I mean, think about the people who've died already in this series, right? Let's also remember that the stakes are a lot different. Like, if Takemichi dies, he dies. He can't leap back to the present. Like, there is no Naoto. This time, he's, like, kind of on his own. If there's a link, it's Mikey, but I don't know. Like, I don't see that happening, right? We're really in the final arc. It's been all but confirmed with like the flag that the second generation Toman is flying, which literally says Tokyo Revengers. I'm hyped for the next chapter, and I'm very excited to see what people have to say in the comments. Please let me know. And of course, if you like what you're hearing, please hit up the main podcast and give it a follow at Now Mind You Pod on Instagram. Thank you all so much, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.